All right, thank you guys. UMass Lowell takes on NC State, and that's going to be a 4:30 p.m. Eastern start time. NC State's the 16-point favorite with the total at 151.5. We're hitting at 70% in our last 10 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. And access to today's Underdog tier play is just $4.99. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, I'll go ahead and explain a little bit more about it in just a few moments. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tier package plays on that site as well. And although we don't have a CBB tier package play going off today, we do have one queued up and ready to go for tomorrow. Now, we do currently have over 675 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. Now, NC State's 2-0 straight up on the season, 2-0 against the number in those ball games. They destroyed Charleston, Southern, and North Florida during that stretch. Now, Devin Daniels is averaging 18 points a game along with 7 boards and 4 assists. Devin's hit 5 of 9 from downtown, and he's also shooting 57% from the field. The senior guard also has 4 steals defensively on the season. Now, junior forward Jericho Helms is also scoring 13 a night along with 3 rebounds and a couple assists. Helms has hit 3 of 4 from 3 land, and he's also hit 10 of 19 from the field. Of course, can't forget about senior forward DJ Funderburk, who's also scoring 11 points a game along with 3 boards. Now, they're taking on a Maslow team who lost their last 2 straight, including a double-digit loss to Illinois State. The Riverhawks' leading scorer, Obadiah Lowell, has chucked up 27 three-pointers in just 3 ball games, and he's making just 25% of them. Now, he's also, did I say Obadiah Lowell? I think it's Obadiah Noel. But anyway, he's just 67% from the stripe. So look for him to take a bunch of shots here today. Now, total-wise, Maslow's most recent outing with Ohio State stayed 13 points below the posted number for that ball game. Meanwhile, 2 out of their last 3 also stayed under the line. Now, on the other side, NC State saw their most recent outing with North Florida stay about 18 points below the posted total themselves. Give me the NC State Wolfpack minus 16 and the under 151.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for college basketball here for you today. But before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again that we are hitting at 70% in our last 10 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. And once again, we are also 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tier package picks on that site as well. And although we don't have a CBB tier package play going off today, we do have one queued up and ready to go for tomorrow. Now, you might be wondering, why would you sign up and pay for picks on Patreon, where you can get them right here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. If I was in your position watching me do these videos, I'd probably be thinking the same thing myself. So we are definitely on the same page there. But hear me out. If you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board, side and total, like I'm doing with my breakdowns here on YouTube, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. And as a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you. You just can't go out there and bet every single game on the board. It's not a good idea. And to be honest with you, the bookies just have so much more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that type of action. So what I do on Patreon is I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, we're doing a whole heck of a lot better betting on games that way. Having a lot more success betting on just a handful of games, 3 to 4 games every day, versus wagering on every single game on the slate side in total. Now, we do currently have over 675 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And moving on, we are going to take a look at UConn versus USC. Now, that particular ball game, that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Mohegan Sun Arena. I think they're still calling it Bubbleville up there in Connecticut. But anyway, the UConn Huskies are the 1-point favorite with the total at 141.5, juice to the under. Now, we did see a little bit of early money on USC and the under in this one. It was a 0.5 point move toward the Trojans and a 0.5 point move downward on the number. So once again, UConn open 1.5 down to 1. Total open 142 down to 141 and a hook. Now, UConn's off to a real nice start in 2020 here. They're 2-0 straight up thus far in the season. Having said that, though, they did fail to cover the number against Hartford in their most recent outing. And in addition to that, their leading scorer, James Bouknight, who I'm a big fan of, he's been great over the past couple of seasons. But their leading scorer, James Bouknight, he's hit just 3 of 11 from downtown. For some reason, he's shooting just 70% from the foul line. Normally a better free throw shooter than that. So anyway, just consider that if you're thinking about backing UConn. Now, they are taking on a USC team who's coming fresh off a 26-point beatdown of BYU. The Trojans are a perfect 3-0 straight up on the season, 3-0 against the spread in those contests. They're officially 2-0 against the spread when catching points as well. Evan Mobley is scoring over 16 points a night, along with 9 rebounds and a couple assists. Evan also has 6 blocks on the season as well. Junior guard Drew Peterson is also scoring 15 a game, along with 5 boards and a couple assists. The 6'8" guard from Libertyville, Illinois, has hit 14 of 22 from the field and 5 of 8 from downtown. And of course, 6'10" forward Isaiah Mobley's bringing down over 11 rebounds a game and 10 points per contest. Now, total-wise, USC's last 2 straight both stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, the Huskies on the other side saw their most recent outing with Hartford stay under the line themselves. Give me the underdog USC Trojans +1 and the under 141.5 in that game. All right, next matchup I have for you. Not on our big screen behind me, but definitely a game of interest, and it is VMI versus Virginia Tech, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. Now, the Virginia Tech Hokies are the 21-point favorite. Total's 141, juice to the under. The Hokies are 3-0 straight up to start off this season. Victories against South Florida, Villanova, and Radford. Kaveh Aluma is scoring 18 a night along with 5 rebounds. Aluma's also hit 6 of 9 from downtown. Naheem Alaney is also scoring 14 a game and has hit 8 of 8 from the stripe. And of course, sophomore guard Tyrese Radford is also scoring 13 a night along with 6 boards and 3 assists. The 6'2" guard from Baton Rouge leads the Hokies in minutes, and he's hitting nearly 60% of his shots from the field. Now, they're beating their opponents by an average of 14 points a game. They're taking on a VMI program who got manhandled by Penn State in their second game of the season. 86-65 was the final in that one. And when it comes to the total on this one, all 3 of the Keydets contests this season did get over the total of 141 points. I'm going to lean toward the Virginia Tech Hokies -21 and the over 141 in that contest. All right, next contest, it is going to be Omaha versus Drake, 8 p.m. Eastern start time at the Knapp Center. The Drake Bulldogs are the 8.5 point favorite with the total at 140 and a hook. Now we're seeing heavy movement toward Nebraska-Omaha. We're also seeing movement toward the under in this one. And as a matter of fact, it was a 2-point move toward Omaha and a 2.5 point move downward on the number. So once again, Drake opened 10.5 down to 8.5. Total open 143 down to 140 and a hook. Drake's 2-0 straight up on the season. Victories against South Dakota and Kansas State. They also went 2-0 against the spread in those ball games. Junior guard Garrett Sturtz currently leads the Bulldogs with 14 points a game along with 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Sturtz has gone 8 of 11 from the field and 12 of 13 from the stripe. The 6'3" junior from Newton, Iowa, also has 4 steals thus far in the season. Now, senior forward Sean Quan Hemphill is also averaging a dozen a game along with 4 boards and a couple assists. And senior Tremel Murphy is also bringing down 7 rebounds a night along with 3 assists. Now, the Bulldogs are taking on a Nebraska Omaha squad who lost their last 2 straight, a little 2-game losing streak for them, and they failed to cover the point spread in both of those losses. Now, they're just 1-3 straight up overall for the season, and they find themselves scoring just 62 points per contest. Omaha's leading scorer, Marlon Ruffin, is shooting just 28% from downtown. And Omaha's second leading scorer, Matt Pyle, he's averaging just 8 points a night. And he's shooting just 50% from the line. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Omaha's 4 contests on the season did stay under the posted number. Meanwhile, Drake on the other side, they saw their most recent meeting with South Dakota stay 22 points below the posted total for that game themselves. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward the Drake Bulldogs -9. Is it -8.5 or -9? I'm going to lean toward the Drake Bulldogs laying the points and the under 140.5 in that ball game. All right, next matchup. It's going to be another one that's not on our big screen, but definitely a game of interest. It's going to be Western Illinois versus Iowa, and that's going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the Hawkeyes are -33 with the total at 155.5. We're seeing early money on Western Illinois and the over in this one. No real surprise there as the Hawkeyes open up laying 36, which, as good as they are, that's an incredibly big number. So once again, the Hawkeyes open 36 down to 33. Total open 154.5 up to 155 and a hook. Now, Iowa's 2-0 straight up on the season. 100 points a game they're averaging through a couple of contests. Luka Garza is averaging 34 points a game, double-digit rebounds. The 6'11" center is 14 of 16 from the stripe, and he has 6 blocks. Junior guard Joe Wieskamp is scoring 13 a game, along with 6 boards and a couple assists. And freshman forward Patrick McCaffrey's scoring a dozen a game, along with 3 boards and a couple assists himself. McCaffrey has 3 steals defensively as well. Now, the Hawkeyes are taking on a Western Illinois program who lost 11 of 12 road games last season. Now, the Leathernecks finished their 2019-2020 campaign on an 11-game losing streak. Their last victory came on January 11th against the University of Denver. Now, Western Illinois also finished the season last year winning just 5 of 26 contests. And when it comes to the total in this one, the Iowa Hawkeyes are 2-0 to the over thus far in the year. They once again are averaging 100 points per contest through 2 ball games. Give me the Iowa Hawkeyes -33 and the over 155.5. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Florida-Boston College. 9:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Mohegan Sun Arena. The Florida Gators are -6.5 with the total at 145 flat. We're seeing steady money on Boston College and the over in this one. It was a 1-point move toward the Eagles and a 3-point move upward on the total. So once again, the Florida Gators open 7.5 down to -6.5. Total open 142 up to 145. The Florida Gators are -270 for some money line cash. Now, Florida beat Army in their season opener. That was a 76-69 finish. That was the final in that one. Having said that, though, that's an Army team who finished last year playing just 500 basketball. And, they were facing teams week in and week out, such as Holy Cross, Lehigh, and Bucknell. So, certainly not a strong Army basketball program. And, of course, Florida's top 2 scorers in that ball game went a combined just 9 for 14 from the foul line, good for just 64%. Now, Florida's taking on a Boston College team who successfully covered the number in 2 out of their last 3. The Eagles covered against Villanova and Rhode Island, and that was actually a 5-point outright victory against the Rhode Island Rams. Winston Tabbs is scoring 17 a game for Boston College, along with 5 rebounds. Meanwhile, sophomore guard Jay Heath is averaging 15 a night along with 3 boards and a couple assists. Also, can't forget about senior forward Stephon Mitchell, who's currently this team's leading rebound getter. Mitchell's got 27 total rebounds already, along with 5 blocks and 6 steals. Now, total-wise, 2 out of BC's last 3 contests stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, Florida's most recent contest with Army stayed under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward an underdog in this one. Give me the Boston College Eagles plus 6.5, keeping this one close, and the under 145. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. Unfortunately, not on our big screen, but definitely a game of interest. I'm talking about Arizona State versus Cal, and that's going to be a 10 p.m. Eastern start time at the Haas Pavilion. The Arizona State Sun Devils are -7 with the total at 144 flat. We're seeing early movement toward the Cal Golden Bears and the under. And as a matter of fact, we saw a 1-point move toward Cal and a 4-point move downward on this total. So once again, Arizona State opened 8 down to 7. Total opened 148 down to 144. The Sun Devils are the $3 favorite on the money line. Now Arizona State, they're coming fresh off a 23-point victory over Houston Baptist. They put up triple-digit scoring in that one. They also beat Rhode Island in the season opener, and they dropped to 94 on the Rams in that ball game. Now, when it comes to this roster here for Arizona State, Josh Christopher is currently leading the charge with 19 a game along with 5 rebounds. The freshman guard from Carson, California, is shooting 58% from the field and has 14 total rebounds. Of course, can't talk about Arizona State without Remy Martin. This guy's had certainly a great career with the Sun Devils. He's scoring 16 a night along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. The 6-foot senior has hit 15 of 30 from the field along with 14 of 17 from the stripe. And freshman forward Marcus Bagley, he's also getting 16 points a game along with 5 rebounds. Bagley's hitting 50% on 3-pointers. He's been pretty deadly from downtown. Now they're taking on a Cal team who lost their season opener against Oregon State. They're officially 0-1 against the spread when catching points. The Golden Bears' leading scorer, Matt Bradley, is shooting just 28% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Cal's second leading scorer, Ryan Bentley, he's scoring just 9 points a game on average. Now, the Golden Bears are averaging just 61 points a game through 2 contests. And when it comes to the total in this ball game here, no surprise, Cal's gone 2-0 to the under thus far in the season, really struggling to score. Meanwhile, the Sun Devils on the other side, they saw their second game of the season against Villanova stay under the line themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Arizona State Sun Devils -7 and the under 144 in that game. And with that, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are hitting at 70% in our last 10 underdog tier package plays. I like NC State -16, under 151.5. USC Trojans +1, under 141 and a hook. Virginia Tech Hokies -21, over 141. Drake -9, under 140 and a hook. Iowa -33, over 155.5. Boston College +6.5, under 145. And last but certainly not least, I like Arizona State -7 and the under 144. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout out to Lewis C., Jay Vizo, Darius McNeil, Sonia Antigua, Kevin Taylor, Not a Biden Fan, Chris Melson, Valentine OW, Dakota Reeves, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Bertrand Tech Montreal. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.